6, who is a Sierra agent, a secret section of the CIA, is given a toy gun with a key embedded in it to open a room of a club by one of the CIA agents, Danny Miranda. He sets up in the room to assassinate a man codenamed Dining Car who is about to sell information that could compromise national security, and 6 is to eliminate him before he does. Dining Car arrives at the club. 6 is told to shoot him once he gets to him. Dining Car gets to where the exchange would be made. He tells his associate to get rid of the crowd in the room, but his associate tells him that it's safer with the crowd. Dining Car tells his associate that he doesn't understand the type of people who are going to be coming for the intel he has. Denny Carmichael, 6 Center Chief, tells him to make the shot. Just then, a child comes into the scene, and 6 halts. Carmichael asks him why he isn't making the shot. He tells Carmichael about the child in the group. Carmichael insists he takes the shot. The New Year's countdown begins, and 6 tries to get a different angle, but it doesn't make a difference. 6 tells them that he would be standing by, that his gun jammed. Carmichael tells him not to stand by. 6 triggers the fire alarm, which alerts Dining Car, and he tells his associates that the deal was off as he leaves with his security men. Danny asks 6 if he was the one who triggered the alarm, but she doesn't get an answer. 6 follows him, and he takes out his security men one by one until he is noticed. A fight breaks loose. Danny shoots a man that's about to shoot 6, and she fights with Dining Car's associate while 6 is busy going after Dining Car. Dining Car jumps down, and 6 goes after him. When 6 lands, Dining Car attacks him. He asks 6 if he is Sierra 6, and he asks 6 that they didn't tell him who he was. Then he tells him that he is Sierra 4. Dining Car and 6 continue their fight. 6 gives Dining Car a fatal wound on the chest, but Dining Car doesn't die immediately. 6 asks him if he is Sierra, who recruited him. Dining Car tells him Fitzroy is the person who recruited 6 as well. 6 asks him where he trained. He tells him a place too where 6 also trained. Dining Car tells 6 that Denny Carmichael is a piece of shit and that they were lying to him and that 6 is probably next to be killed. He offers 6 a necklace that happens to be what Carmichael is after. 6 tells him that he doesn't want it, but he insists that he should bring down Carmichael. 6 accepts the necklace. He then tells 6 to give them hell. Danny joins them. 6 tells her that Dining Car said he was Sierra. Danny tells him that the information wasn't in the documents. 6 tells her that he knew who he was. Danny thinks that he probably had stolen intel, which 6 answers that he is Sierra, and he has no intel since he is supposed to be a secret. He walks away. Dining Car's body is searched, but the necklace is nowhere to be seen. A call is made to Carmichael, and he is told that the item wasn't found. Carmichael blames Suzanne Brewer for not disbanding the Sierra program. She tells him it takes time to destroy such programs because of the powers behind them. Carmichael calls 6. He asks if 6 is in possession of anything from Dining Car, but 6 doesn't volunteer any information. He exchanges clothes with a person he sees on the street. He goes to a cyber cafe to check the USB he found inside the necklace, but it is password protected. Danny calls 6 to ask him if he was taking the helicopter ride with her. He tells her that he isn't. 6 calls his former boss Fitzroy. He tells him of the situation he is in now and that Carmichael is involved in some shady things. Fitzroy tells him that he would be sending him an extraction team. 6 asks about Sierra 4, which Fitzroy confirms to him. He then tells Fitzroy that he was sent to kill Sierra 4, but before he died, he gave him something Carmichael wanted badly. Fitzroy asks where he is. 6 tells him that he is in Bangkok and he tells him where to go for the extraction. 6 steals a tricycle. Carmichael thinks 6 has the item, but Suzanne isn't quite sure he does. He tells her he would be sending Lloyd Hansen, who is an assassin working for him, after 6, but Suzanne is against it because she thinks Lloyd is unstable. Carmichael calls Lloyd to kill Sierra 6 and collect the compromising information that might cause them problems from him. He tells Lloyd that he would be sending Suzanne to assist him, but Lloyd protests against it. Carmichael tells him that 6 was trained to be a ghost. How would they find him? He asks Carmichael how close Fitzroy and 6 are. Carmichael tells him it's like a father-son relationship. Lloyd asks for Fitzroy's file. He would find somebody he can use to get him to cooperate with him. Fitzroy's niece is kidnapped. Suzanne and Carmichael argue about working with Lloyd. Carmichael tells her that the last person who had pissed off their main boss was killed, and unless she doesn't want to live anymore. At the extraction point, 6 drives the tricycle there. He gives a code word to the Captain Doolin, and they all board the plane. Danny gets a call to change a trip location because she would be accompanying him to Berlin. Lloyd approaches Fitzroy at a funeral about getting information on 6. He shows Fitzroy a picture of his niece Claire who has been kidnapped. Fitzroy calls Doolin. He tells him to eliminate 6 painlessly. Doolin and his men try to take out a supposedly asleep 6, but he surprises them instead, and a fight begins. A shot is fired, which causes pressure to drop inside the cabin. The plane tears up and explodes. 6, who is without a parachute, starts descending to the ground speedily. He fights with one of the men who has a parachute. 6 calls Fitzroy. He asks 6 where he is and about the extraction team. Fitzroy tells him that they forced him and that they have his niece. Lloyd collects the phone. He tells 6 that he is in charge of the operation to find him. He tells 6 to give him the asset he stole, and he would not be killed. 6 tells him that he doesn't trust him. 6 tells him that he doesn't like him. Then he cuts the call. Lloyd tells Fitzroy that he would be putting a hit on 6's head. He would be hunted by grade A assassins. Lloyd tells Fitzroy that he can kill anyone, and Fitzroy tells him that maybe not anybody. 6 is on a train. He ties his shoelace to the door, and after eating, he goes to sleep. He remembers 2 years ago when Fitzroy tells him about his niece that he is raising after the death of his brother and his sister-in-law and that she has a heart condition. 6 is told to babysit Claire while Fitzroy goes to Brazil to head an operation. He tells them that he was trained to kill, not to care. He is then told that he doesn't need to care, just watch after her. 6 meets Fitzroy's outspoken niece Claire at Fitzroy's residence. She tries to get 6 to join in conversations but he doesn't talk much. Claire's caregiver leaves after telling 6 that Claire is asleep and she wants to go have dinner. After she leaves, Claire calls for 6 as she collapses, telling him that something is wrong. He rushes her to the hospital where they are attended to swiftly. The doctor tells them that Claire is fine now and that there was an issue with her pacemaker but it's been fixed. Back at the house, Claire has ice cream while she sits with 6, and soon her caregiver comes to take her to bed. 6 notices that the video footage of the house which is on his laptop has been turned off. Claire plays a record in her bedroom. 6 goes to check for intruders, and he finds a man with a gun sneaking through the house. He beats the man up, and Claire sees it all. He tells him to go back to bed. In present day, 6 is at Vienna, and he goes to one of his storage units to get a bag containing some money and guns. He goes to a place to get a fake passport done. He asks the man to help him find a serial number of Claire's pacemaker, which he does. The man keeps wasting time, and soon it's time to take his picture for the passport. The man makes him stay at a particular position, and then he opens a trap door from under 6, sending him falling to the hole. He shows 6 a flyer with a hit on his head. 6 tries to shoot the glass door but it's bulletproof. Carmichael interrogates Danny. He asks her if she had any idea he was planning to do something else instead of the plan they had for the mission. She tells him she had no idea. He tells her that 6 stole something of importance, which she answers that she met 6 for the first time when she landed in Bangkok. 6 plans for his escape. He makes an explosive. One of Lloyd's men informs him that 6 had been found. Lloyd tells the pilot that they need to make an emergency landing but the pilot argues that he would lose his license, and Lloyd shoots him in the leg. The co-pilot doesn't say anything. Carmichael tells Danny that she has been suspended. He is sent a picture of 6 being held in a hole, and he tells Danny that she shouldn't leave yet, that her house is being searched. Then he leaves. Danny rushes out of there. 6 causes the pipe inside the hole to flood. Lloyd and his men get to the place where 6 is being held. They break into the apartment. Lloyd asks the man where 6 is. He asks Lloyd for his money, which makes Lloyd shoot him, killing him. They go to where the hole is located, and 6 has his explosive ready for them. He blows it, killing the people close to the hole. He comes out of the hole. Lloyd's men try to kill him but he kills them first. Lloyd attacks him with pepper spray. 6 detonates a grenade. Lloyd runs away, and 6 jumps out from a window. Lloyd goes after him, and before he can shoot him, he is shot in the leg with a tranquilizer by Danny. Danny points a gun at 6. She tells him to follow him. He takes Lloyd's shoes. Danny tells him to enter the trunk of her car, and he refuses, so she shoots him with a tranquilizer. Lloyd and Fitzroy go to an estate where Lloyd meets with Suzanne. She asks him what he is doing by kidnapping Fitzroy and his niece. He tells her that he is trying to save her from losing her job by using some methods the CIA don't approve of. Fitzroy sees his niece. She hugs him when she sees him. Danny tells 6 that he was going to go with her to clear her name and that she doesn't want her reputation and career to be destroyed. He tells her that they won't care what he thinks. He tells about dining car giving him a drive which he had sent to Margaret Cahill, the retired UK chief who he trusts who now lives in Prague. She tells him to hold on tight. Lloyd finds out that 6 had mailed something to someone in Prague and they can't find the address. He tortures the address from Fitzroy, and he sends a team to Prague. 6 and Danny get there before his team. Margaret gives the asset to 6 after opening it. She tells them that the drive contains the corrupt dealings of Carmichael and that she thinks someone powerful was protecting Carmichael. 6 sees Lloyd's men just in time for them to start shooting into Margaret's apartment. He pushes her and himself away. He tells Danny to go. Margaret locks 6 in her underground hideout while she blows herself up with Lloyd's team. Suzanne panics when she sees Margaret Cahill blow up. The police officers who arrive at the scene try to arrest 6, but he manages to make a run for it, but he is later caught and handcuffed to a chair in an open area. 6 watches his environment and he tries to warn the cops to clear civilians out of there, but all he said falls on deaf ears. Different teams of men with guns start firing at them, killing a lot of cops. 6 hides. A SWAT team arrives on the scene making Lloyd's men's jobs hard. Lloyd keeps yelling for any of them to shoot Six dead. Lloyd offers an extra $10 million to anyone that kills Six. Lloyd sends his men to get rid of a SWAT assault vehicle which they blow up. Suzanne tries to get Lloyd to command his men to pull out of the location, but he doesn't listen to her. Six hides on a moving train, but his location is found out when he shoots one of the team members. The other team members start for the train, a shootout ensues. Danny drives to the train. She tells Six to jump, but suddenly a man from Lloyd's team of assassins jumps on the train to fight Six. Six throws the man out of the train. He tries to get out of the train to jump into Danny's car when he sees a vehicle open up to reveal a man with a large machine gun. The man shoots the train out of the track and some police cars before Danny pushes the vehicle into the train, causing it to turn over. Six jumps out of the train on top of Danny's car. Lloyd asks for a status report from his team, but there's no response. Suzanne tells him that it's the greatest failure in asset retrieval. One of the assassins, Lone Wolf, responds that he is tracking Six. Danny asks about the girl Claire he told her they have and how they can get her back. He tells her about her pacemaker serial number that he has, that they can use it to locate her. Six and Danny go to an overcrowded hospital in the guise of seeking help, but they steal the ID card of a nurse. They use the card to try to access the hospital computer, but just then they are attacked by the Lone Wolf, who asks them for the drive, but they refuse to give it. He fights both Danny and Six to get it. He gets the necklace and he jumps out of the window down the building. He is stopped by the cops, and he pretends to be attacked by Six, who had jumped too in his pursuit. The Lone Wolf attacks the cops and hijacks one of their bikes. Danny runs after Lone Wolf, and so does Six. When Danny tries to shoot him, the gun is empty. Six and Danny take a police car. Carmichael calls Suzanne to ask her how the situation at Prague became uncontrollable. She tells him that she warned him not to send Lloyd on the operation. She asks him if their boss knows yet, and he replies that he isn't sure, but the news can't be concealed. He asks about the drive. She tells him that it's not with her, but it's on transit. He tells her to call him when she gets the drive. Six and Danny stop by a veterinary clinic. A wounded Six searches for supplies to treat his stab wound. Danny asks him how he went to prison. He tells her that he killed his father for physically abusing his brother and he was sent to prison. Claire asks Fitzroy if Six was coming for them. Lone Wolf delivers the drive. Danny and Six ambush some of Lloyd's men. They raid their weapon stash. Suzanne asks Lloyd if he considers putting a bullet in Claire, who's held upstairs, a success. This gets Lone Wolf's attention. He asks Lloyd if he is killing a girl. Lloyd dismisses him, and he tells Suzanne to pay him so he can leave. Suzanne notices that some security is missing in the eastern perimeter, but before they can check, a helicopter is bombed down. Lloyd declares a lockdown. Danny, who is masked, starts firing explosives at them. Six gets Fitzroy and Claire out of the room they are being held in. Lloyd notices that they are being led away from the house, but he is too late because his captives are nowhere to be seen. Suzanne notices Danny on their screen, but she doesn't react fast enough for the bomb Danny launches at them. Six, Fitzroy, and Claire are being shot at, and a bullet hits Fitzroy on the chest. He tells Six to take Claire. Six doesn't want to leave him, but he insists that he gives him a grenade, and he takes Claire away. Claire isn't ready to let go of her uncle, but Six pulls her away, and they drive into the water. Lone Wolf picks up the drive. He hears someone approach. When Lloyd and his men get to where Fitzroy is, Fitzroy detonates the grenade, but Lloyd ducks fast enough. Seeing the explosion, Claire cries out, and Six helps her swim away. Danny and Lone Wolf fight each other. Lloyd jumps into the water in pursuit of Six and Claire. Danny and Lone Wolf continue fighting, and they almost strangle each other. Lone Wolf gives the drive to Danny, telling her that he has no need for the money and that Lloyd and his people are not honorable people. Then he leaves. Six sees a vehicle heading over to him while he is trying to turn on a boat. He tells Claire to wait for him. Lloyd's men come out from the vehicle, and he is then attacked by Lloyd. They both fight. Lloyd holds Claire hostage, and he takes her into the property's maze. Six goes after them. He finds them in the middle of the maze. Lloyd releases Claire. Six tells Claire to go meet his friend at the end of the maze, but she's adamant, but she agrees. Lloyd tells Six that they should fight it out. They start a fight. Six beats up Lloyd until he pulls up a knife. Lloyd is good with knives and he handles it well, stabbing Six in multiple places. Suzanne shoots Lloyd in the chest, killing him. She also shoots Six but in his leg. She tells him that she wants him to comply. She tells him that she, Carmichael, and Lloyd went to Harvard together and that Carmichael and Lloyd have a very strong friendship, which made it difficult for her to show Carmichael how much of a liability Lloyd was. But now she can use this opportunity to make Lloyd take the fall for everything, and that she just needs witnesses. She threatens him using Claire. Danny is arrested, and Six is loaded into a helicopter. Suzanne is seen with the drive. 2 weeks later, Six is at the hospital with a lot of soldiers surrounding his room. A meeting is called to settle the case. Carmichael and Suzanne are exonerated and suspended while Danny has to play along with them too since she is their witness. The meeting is dismissed. Carmichael tells Danny that she did well and she just has to stick to the script. She replies that if anything happens to Claire Fitzroy, the deal would be off. Claire is held prisoner in a cabin. On their way to where Six is being held, Carmichael tells Suzanne that she should have killed Six. She tells him that he is a valuable asset. Carmichael doesn't think he would do what she wants since he is Fitzroy's gray man. She answers that he will, as long as she has Claire he will. On the elevator, they ask about Six, and they are told that he has been active. They see military officers sprawled out on the floor. They check Six's room but don't find him. Claire gets back to her room to find her window open and a record with a note on it. She plays the record while Six eliminates the security men in the building. He comes to her room when he is done, and she happily hugs him. He drives off with her.